is in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 down, stay on the field, run it, and catch it, and he gets it done.
Extra point by York is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. A collegiate star here in the Buckeye State, it's J.K. Dobbins. And some room to roam now. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 39 yards there, a big one.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
Well, they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
Yeah, nobody leaked. Big play. Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test them early. But they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Jackson now. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. Jackson. He's going to try and go deep again. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 53. And he's going to miss this one. That is no good. Well outside the left upright, and this will stay at a 7-point game. So an empty possession there. What do you think went wrong, Charles?
Well, it looked like maybe the plant leg might have given way just a little. And when that happens, guys have a tendency to pull through the ball to compensate. And in doing so, sent this one off target.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. They've got the 7-0 lead. Now they've got the football back after their defense got the stop, CD. And you get the feeling if they could score here, they'd really have all the momentum on their side.
And you just wonder right now, is the quarterback and the play caller totally in sync? Are they of one mind that, hey, what worked last time, let's keep doing it until they stop us? Or do they go to a different section in the playbook, show them something different? Either way, they want a repeat of their first drive.
And now the drive starts with a completion out to the right. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. A gain of 8 there on the play. And it'll be 2nd and a couple. Now Chubb running right. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Back to the ground, this time Cook. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. On 1st down, Watson. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Back to throw, Watson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. Able to pick up a dozen yards there on the scramble, but not enough. 4th down. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This will be from 56 yards out. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. And that will extend their lead even further. So a touchdown on their opening drive and 3 more here, and it adds to their first quarter lead.
Yeah, everything's going according to plan so far because the offense has moved the ball, defense able to do their job, and here the special teams unit comes through with their contribution. A field goal to make it 10-zip.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss. $10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. 13 yards remaining on 2nd down. Jackson. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. Going deep here for Allen.
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by Greg Newsome.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach in the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and punt the football.
The Browns drive about to get started. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
I think we have to give all the credit to the defense there. Very disciplined in their approach. Never allowed a cutback lane, which was exactly what he was looking for. They end up forcing him out of bounds for a loss.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Now it's Watson. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Brandon Stevens.
And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really, on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. The tale of 2 extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead it works opposite.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
Backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first.
On 3rd down, Jackson sliding out of the pocket. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. The Cleveland offense ready to go.
And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, some guys, they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to want to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
From up near the 40 now after the big play to start, here's another 1st and 10. And now here's Goodwin with it on the jet sweep. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
An excellent run there coming from out wide.
And we used to consider these jet sweeps to be gadget plays or something a little bit unusual, right? But now most teams have some version of this play in their playbook. And I think it's a lot because of the receivers that are being developed nowadays. These guys look like running backs even though they're playing out on the perimeter.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Working with a 2nd and 3.
They're going to go with a tight end here on the running play. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the 1st down. A nice run right there.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Faking the give. Now Watson.
Open man is Komet, the tight end. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score. Off of play action, it's Watson. His throw incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Throwing again is Watson.
Finding Nick Chubb on the slant. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Now Watson.
And that went a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
York able to send this one through.
And that will extend their lead even further.
So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps, and the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Steps away to his left. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this is picked up by the Browns. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. Had some good yardage there, too, before he fumbled that football, Charles.
Yeah, just think about it this way. Running backs, as a general rule, they kind of know when the end of a run is near, and you notice how they cover up, right? They protect the football. Sometimes quarterbacks forget that out in the open field. After a while, you start to wonder, does the running back coach visit the quarterback coach and say, hey, I can help you with this. We can protect this and make sure we keep the ball.
Following the fumble recovery, Watson. Throw left side, caught by the tight end, Njoku. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. Watson on first down. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Moore. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. Single receiver.
Here's Watson. This is the tight end, Njoku. And he is out of bounds inside the 30.
Let's just make this one simple. Could he be any more open than he was on that play?
Yeah, they lost him going to the outside.
Hard to believe because you go through your accounting on each and every defensive snap. Who's got who, what defense you're in. That was totally a blown coverage.
This will be caught inside the 10. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Browns would extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point by York is up and good. And that pushes the lead up to an even 20. So just 8 ticks remaining here in the first half as they'll kick this one away. And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And with only 4 seconds on the clock, time likely for just 1 snap of the football. Final play of the half here. It's Jackson. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2. And it brings up second down. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the third quarter. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Flowers. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Jackson. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. And he's going to be taken down here, still a couple yards short of the first. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th. The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. The Browns' drive about to get started. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson rolling to his right. That pass complete to Moore. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. From the gun, here's Watson. And he's got the speedster Goodwin. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. On first down, it's Watson. And that is taken in by Njoku. He's got room at the 30. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. Now, we know this offense has the potential to strike quickly, and they just bit off 2 huge plays on back-to-back snaps.
So on the other side of the ball, you've got to
Typical band of brothers thought process. No one left behind, no pointing fingers, no accusations, because if you don't, those quick strikes we just saw, they become long-lasting.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, his third rushing touchdown of the year, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Extra point by York is up and good. And that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
59 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Escaping the pressure right.
And a high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete.
His impatience has to be bubbling over, trying to find a way to get his team to the end zone for the first time. He did find a way to break contain and get outside to buy his receivers a little extra time, but the connection couldn't be made on that throw.
Come on, baby. Let's see what you got. 48. 48's the mic.
You ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing today.
Check 48's the mic. Check 48's the mic.
Here's Jackson. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long. The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to kick it away. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. He'll field this at the 5. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. The Cleveland offense ready to go.
They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles, and I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right? Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, it's not typical for us to see games out of reach in the third quarter. Right now, they're unstoppable in this one. And seeing how they just came out onto the field, it does appear like they're done scoring points in this one. They look awfully confident.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Check three. We got heavy. Everybody.
Watson now to throw.
A throw left side taken in by Kmet.
It'll be a gain of just a yard, and it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him, and what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their 3rd corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man and try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look.
Watson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Odafe Owe. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
Even the most elusive quarterbacks have those tough days where they can't avoid sacks, and this is one of them. 3rd time he's gone down. He might develop some happy feet now, want to escape the pocket and try and gain more yardage with his legs.
After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. He's going to float this over the middle deep. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted.
Picked up by Brandon Stevens. And the Ravens are going to take possession of the football.
They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back 1 pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
After the interception, here's Jackson. He finds his target, Allen.
And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Jackson from the shotgun.
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. And the Brownsons are going to take over at their own 28-yard line.
Well, just another reason to celebrate there on the defensive side with the interception, and this is a game that they clearly have firmly in their grasp.
Yeah, a lot of handshakes, a lot of hugs, a lot of smiles. It's been their day.
The Browns drive about to get started. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Goodwin able to haul it in.
And he is going to have the Browns 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the 4th quarter.
On 1st and 10, Watson. Looking middle, and that's complete.
And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
Tell you what, partner, the way he's been slinging it in this one, I think he should be ticketed for a baseball cap and a set of headphones for the next drive. He's been absolutely sensational. The one thing we've both learned about quarterbacks in this league, they often stay on the field longer than you expect.
And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. They'll come up now on 2nd and a yard.
Now it's Watson, a bootleg.
And returns it right back to Samuel. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. Well, that's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
To the air yet again, Watson. To the right side, and now a fumble. The ball's out, and it's picked up by the Ravens.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
They'll start on the ground with Dobbins. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there. Second down. Now Jackson.
They set up the screen for Dobbins.
They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a third down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
The Ravens on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now it's Jackson.
This ball nearly intercepted. A once-in-a-season chance for the big fella, but he couldn't corral it. 4th down, straight ahead.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
57, Mike, 57. Watch the run. They're running it.
Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. Throw left side complete. That's Flowers.
And he is going to have a Ravens first down as they find a way to convert on 4th and 10.
And Jackson throwing once more. He'll buy some time right. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down.
Well, it's obvious, but I can't help but say it here. It's never a good day when the opposing defense has more sacks than you have points. The win seems likely, but this defense is still playing for something here. They see that 0 on the scoreboard, and they don't want that to change.
Being chased out left.
That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
This game just keeps evolving and changing, doesn't it? You got a tight end who can move around a lot. Not necessarily using a big body on him. Sometimes you take a corner, a better cover guy, and put him on him and try and take him out of the game as we've seen in this one.
You're exactly right. They've taken him out of the game. That was just his first catch. Big reason they're losing right now. 3rd and 2. Here's Jackson. And he's got his tight end. That's Andrews. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out.
Mike 56, Mike 56. I got you, son. I got you.
And they'll send the tight end in motion left.
56 to Mike. 56 is to Mike.
Ozzy, shut up.
56, Mike, 56, right there, 56.
All day, dog.
Jackson on 1st down. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Jackson will throw again. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. Justin Tucker for the extra point. It's up and good, and it makes it 27-7 now. So despite the huge deficit, they're going to keep fighting. Here comes the onside kick. Oh, the Ravens say they have it. They do have it. So the onside kick is recovered. And, you know, I always thought, Charles, as someone who didn't play these positions, that going over the middle as a receiver or trying to recover an onside kick, those are two very tough things to do.
It takes a lot of fortitude to put yourself in that position, but you have to do it in order to help your team win.
Unable to recover it, it costs them. The kicking team gets the football here. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And you hate to see this for them, but they're looking at yet another loss to begin this season. Things really going from bad to worse as they trail here starting this drive 1st and 10 in the 4th quarter.
The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go.
So 2 sacks for the rookie, definitely making an impact here in year 1.
And in a ton of different ways, because rushing the passer, that was supposed to be a skill that he was developing. Looks to me like he's figured it out already.
To try again after the sack. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. Past the 20. And that might just cement it. A return for a late touchdown. Second time he's lost a fumble. This one hurts more. It's returned for 6.
He's been under a lot of duress, hasn't he? Pressured, hurried, harassed the whole game.
Well, the offensive line not giving him a lot of help.
Not a lot of help, but the bottom line, he's got to take care of the football.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return.
This one fielded at the 5. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case.
So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here.
Charles, for this losing side, their heads are hanging as they walk off the field today. And really, I mean, we know why. Those 3 turnovers by that offense, that's ultimately what doomed them.
And this is what coaches preach all the time to every team that we ever talk with. Taking care of the ball on offense, trying to take it away on defense. And let's face it, when you give it away 3 times in one game, you make it very difficult for your team to get the W.
So for Cleveland, they move a step closer to 500 as their record improves to 2-3. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, the calendar changed October didn't help as they dropped to 0-5 on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.